Gentlemen, I present to you Virginia's electors for the 2024 Electoral College. Please stand. You may be seated. I want to welcome everyone. Governor Youngkin, Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl Sears, Chief Justice of the Virginia Supreme Court, S. Bernard Goodwin, Commissioner of Elections Susan Beals, Librarian of Virginia Dennis Clark, distinguished electors and guests. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm John O'Bannon, Chairman of the State Board of Elections, and on behalf of my fellow members of the State Board of Elections, I'm pleased to call to order the 2024 meeting of the Electoral College for President and Vice President of the United States for the Commonwealth of Virginia. I ask that you please take a moment and silence your phones. You're welcome to take pictures, but no flash is permitted. It's now my privilege, I'm most honored to present to you all the Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, Glenn Youngkin. Governor Youngkin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Well, good afternoon, everyone. 4 minutes into afternoon. And I'd like to personally welcome everyone to Mr. Jefferson's Capitol. And every morning, I have the great privilege of walking out the front door of a home that was procured by our fourth President of the United States. I walk down the stairs and I see a Capitol that was designed and built by our third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson. And I take a right and I go work in a building that, of course, is named after our very first governor, Patrick Henry. I share that with you, one, because I'm in awe every day I have a chance to do that, but second of all, that the seriousness and weight of the proceedings today should not be underestimated. In every state in the nation today, at noon, electors are convening to cast their ballots for President and Vice President of the United States of America. And today is more than just a routine process. Today represents 235 years of this democratic system, this republic, and it's anchored by a steadfast belief in the great American experiment. The wisdom of the Electoral College has stood the test of time, and we gather here to not just fulfill a duty to the Commonwealth and country, but to honor one of the greatest gifts of our American democracy. I would like to add my welcome and thanks to those of us who've joined us today, to our great Lieutenant Governor, Winsome Earl Sears, to Chief Justice of our Supreme Court of Virginia, Bernard Goodwin. Welcome, sir. To the Librarian of Virginia, Dennis Clark. To Chairman O'Bannon, thank you for your leadership of our State Board of Elections. And to the members of the State Board, thank you for your service to the Commonwealth. I am sure that when you accepted your position on the state board, no one told you that we have elections every year. And within those years, we oftentimes have many special elections. Welcome to the land of elections. And to particularly the Virginia Department of Elections, led by Commissioner Susan Beals. And I'm going to stop right there and give Susan a round of applause. Thank you. I don't see her. Oh, there she is. Good. I'm like, where are you? And also to all the general registrars of the electoral board members and their staff, and all the guests who have joined us today, welcome. Thank you all for your dedication to the work that it takes many months leading up to and after Election Day. I'd also like to recognize Virginia's 13 electors for your service to the Commonwealth and to the nation. As you know, presidents are not elected by direct popular vote, but by the 538 members of the Electoral College who come from each of the 50 states and Washington, D.C. Those present with us today are 13 of the 538 electors who were chosen on Election Day. The votes they cast will be counted by Congress in early January. The Electoral College was established by the framers of the Constitution as a grand compromise between those who wanted the direct election of the president by popular vote and those who wanted the president appointed by Congress. And the first meeting of Virginia's Electoral College was on February 4th, 1789, in the city of Richmond. And the results of voting were certified by 3 participants, including Patrick Henry. And of course, that day, George Washington was voted for as president, John Adams as vice president. So you see, the role of Virginia in elections goes back to the very founding of our nation. The first organized elections in the New World were held here in Virginia in 1619 to elect the first House of Burgesses. The method of electing a president by the Electoral College began with the Constitutional Convention in 1787. Since the 1788-89 election, Virginia has appointed all of her electors by the will of the people, and that is by election. In fact, Virginia was one of the original states to allow electors to be elected by the people, and the Commonwealth has never wavered from this practice. And this is yet another moment where I can stand here and say that I am immensely proud to be a Virginian. So, as we gather here today to fulfill this time-honored duty, may we hold distinct appreciation for the magnitude of this moment, a distinct appreciation for the principles in our U.S. Constitution that have endured, a distinct appreciation for this nation that stands for the will of the people. And may we never take for granted that this greatest treasure that we all enjoy, is such a privilege. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your willingness to serve. And may God bless the Commonwealth, and may He bless the United States of America. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Be seated. We very much appreciate Governor Youngkin for taking time from his busy schedule to be with us here today for this most important occasion. At this time, I would like to invite Georgia Alvis Long who is our Secretary of the State Board of Elections, to call the roll call of electors for the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Secretary Alvis Long.
Yes, I will now officially call the roll call of electors. Please signify your attendance for the record by responding yay into your microphone when your name is called. Allen Hamilton Kennedy. Yay. Jeffrey A. Bright. David Brian Washington.
Yay.
Elizabeth Veternikova Kana.
Yay.
Gary Davis Schatz. Yay. Dorothy S. Blackwell. Joseph Odell Smith III.
Yay.
David Jacob Leichtman.
Yay.
Jarrell Wayne Salibi.
Yay.
Coran Terry Sains.
Yay.
Christopher Joseph Ambrose.
Yay.
Susan Bates Hippen.
Yay.
Susan Reed Schwecker.
Yay.
All right. Elector Jeffrey A. Bright is not present. The present electors will vote by ballot to fill the vacancy after they have taken the oath of office. So if everyone would now please stand for the invocation, led by Honorable Donald Merricks, member of the Virginia State Board of Elections, and then please remain standing after the invocation for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we pause at the beginning of this special occasion, acknowledging our dependence on you for our daily substance. We thank you for the bountiful blessings we all enjoy. We recognize our failures and ask your forgiveness when we have wronged another. It is my prayer today that each one here would understand that you have called us to unity, not uniformity. Recognizing our differences, I pray for wisdom for all gathered here and for those who will begin session in just a few short weeks, not human wisdom, but your wisdom. I pray that our leaders would work harder on the things that would bring us all together and less on the things that would divide us. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, O Lord, our strength and Redeemer. And finally, Father, I pray that all would remember these three things. In your goodness, we were born into this life, and in your grace, we've been held every hour of every day right up until this moment. And in your unfailing love, we are being redeemed. I pray this in your holy name. Amen. I now call on the Honorable Rosalind Dance, Vice Chair of the State Board of Elections, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. The electors will now take their oaths of office for the 2024 Electoral College. Electors, the oath form is now being distributed by your Department of Election staff. After the oath has been administered, please fill out these forms and leave them on your desk. They will be collected momentarily. I am now honored to present to the electors the Honorable S. Bernard Goodwin, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Virginia, who will administer the oath of office. Mr. Chief Justice.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Electors, please stand, raise your right hands, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge all the duties incumbent upon me as a presidential elector of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia, State, York City, County, according to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
Yes, you do.
Gotta learn how to write fast.
We appreciate your doing this, Chief Justice. Use that pen. Thank you very much, Chief Justice. I now call on Matthew Weinstein, a member of our State Board of Elections, to appoint the temporary presiding officer for today. Matthew?
Good afternoon. At this time, I appoint as temporary presiding officer of the electors David J. Leichman. Elector Leichman, please come to the podium. Secretary Alphys Long, please provide the temporary presiding officer with the prepared minutes for later presentment to the Secretary of the electors.
The order of business has been distributed to the electors. At this time, I ask the electors please adopt the order of business by voice vote. All in favor of adopting this order of business for the 2024 Electoral College, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, please signify by saying nay. Hearing none, the order of business is adopted. Okay, at this time, it is the order of business to elect a replacement elector to fill the vacancy in the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia due to the absence of Elector Jeffrey Bright. While the selection to fill the elector vacancy is the choice of the electors present, you will be provided a list of proposed substitute electors from the Democratic Party of Virginia for your consideration. Listed in order of preference, these proposed substitute electors have all submitted the necessary information to establish eligibility to serve as an elector. Elect staff will now distribute to the electors the names of the proposed substitute electors provided by the state party. Thank you. I will now accept nominations from the floor. Are there any nominations from the floor?
I, Gerald Wayne Salibi, nominate Ty Mallory to fill the vacancy in the office of elector.
Okay. Elector Salibi has nominated Ty Mallory to fill the vacancy in the office of elector. Is there a second?
I, Alan Hamilton Kennedy, second Elector Salibi's nomination.
Elector Kennedy has seconded Elector Salibi's nomination. Do you accept the nomination, Ty Mallory?
I, Tayi Mallory, accept Elector Salibi's nomination.
Are there any other nominations to fill the vacancy in the College of Electors? Hearing no other nominations, I ask staff to deliver ballots to the electors to cast votes to fill the vacancy in the College of Electors. Thank you. You have been provided a ballot on which to record your choice to fill the elector vacancy. Please record on your ballot your vote to fill the elector vacancy. Upon completion, your ballot will be collected and provided to me. 12 votes have been cast for Taye Mallory of Henrico County to fill the vacancy in the office of the elector, which exceeds the plurality threshold required by Virginia law. Will Department of Election staff bring forward the certificates of votes to be amended to reflect the change in membership to the Electoral College and deliver a certificate of oath to Elector Mallory? Okay. Justice Goodwin will now administer the oath of office to Elector Mallory. Justice Goodwin.
Please stand and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Taye Mallory,
I, Taye Davenport Mallory,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia,
and that I will faithfully and impartially
and that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge all the duties incumbent upon me
discharge all the duties incumbent upon me
as a presidential elector of the 2024 Electoral College,
as a
as a presidential elector
as a presidential elector of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia,
from Henrico County,
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Okay. At this time, it is the order of business to elect a president of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia. I will now accept nominations from the floor. Are there any nominations from the floor?
I, Dorothy Blackwell, nominate Susan Reed Swecker to be president of the electors.
Elector Blackwell has nominated Elector Swecker to be president of the Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Is there a second?
I, Elizabeth Modernikova-Kana, second Elector Blackwell's nomination.
Elector Kana has seconded Elector Blackwell's nomination. Do you accept the nomination, Elector Swecker?
I, Susan Reed Swecker, accept Elector Blackwell's nomination.
Are there any other nominations for president of the College of Electors? Hearing no other nominations, I call for a voice vote. All in favor of electing Elector Swecker of Highland County as president of the 2024 College of Electors, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, Elector Susan Reed Swecker of Highland County is unanimously elected as president of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia. At this time, it is the order of business to elect the secretary of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Are there any nominations from the floor?
I, Christopher Joseph Ambrose, nominate Susan Bates Hippen to be secretary of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Elector Ambrose has nominated Elector Hippen to be secretary of the Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Is there a second?
I second Elector Ambrose's nomination.
Elector Washington has seconded Elector Ambrose's nomination. Do you accept the nomination, Elector Hippen?
I, Susan Bates Hippen, accept Elector Ambrose's nomination.
Are there any other nominations for secretary of the College of Electors? Hearing no other nominations, I call for a voice vote. All in favor of electing Elector Susan Bates Hippen of Virginia Beach as Secretary of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. Hearing none, Elector Susan Bates Hippen is unanimously elected as Secretary of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia. Will the President and Secretary please join me at the podium? Can I sit over there? Does that need to happen first? Okay. Okay, here. I now present, hang on. We have to do something before I present them with the, right? Okay. Apologies. I have to cross out those names. I now present Elector Secretary Hippen with the minutes for this meeting, prepared by the Department of Elections, and 8 copies of a certificate of filling vacancy of elector for her execution to be attached to the certificate of votes executed by the electors. And I believe that is... Oh, wait, maybe that's not free. Yeah, I think you do. Yeah. Yes, you sure do. And then I'm supposed to give you these minutes. Okay. Will Elector President please assume her office at the podium?
Thank you, Elector Lightman. At this time, it is the order of business to vote for the President of the United States for the next ensuing regular term by ballot and roll call vote. Staff, please distribute a presidential ballot to each elector, and electors, then please complete your ballot. Staff, please collect the ballots from your electors and deliver to the secretary. Electors, when your name is called, please respond for whom you wish to cast your vote. Madam Secretary, will you please poll the electors for their vote?
Elector from Williamsburg, Virginia, Alan Hamilton Kennedy.
Because the fight for freedom continues, I, Alan Hamilton Kennedy, cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Enrico County, Virginia, Tyree Mallory.
Madam Secretary, it is the honor of my life. I, Tyree Davenport Mallory, cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Chesapeake, Virginia, David Bryan Washington.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I, David Bryan Washington, from Chesapeake, Virginia, nominate Kamala D. Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Richmond, Virginia, Elizabeth Vernikova Kana.
That was great, Secretary. Thank you. I, Elizabeth Vadernikova Kana, am honored to cast my vote for Kamala Davy Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Mineral, Virginia, Gary Davis Schatz.
I, Gary Davis Schatz, cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris in the state of California.
Elector from Lexington, Virginia, Dorothy S. Blackwell.
I, Dorothy S. Blackwell, proudly cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of California.
Elector from Culpeper, Virginia, Joseph Odell Smith III.
I, Joseph Odell Smith III, cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Arlington, Virginia, David Jacob Leichman.
I, David Jacob Leichman, cast my vote for Kamala Davy Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Rocky Mount, Virginia, Jarrell Wayne Salibi.
I, Gerald Salibi, cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Sterling, Virginia, Karan Terry Sains.
I, Karan Terry Sains, cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of the state of California.
Elector from Lorton, Virginia, Christopher Joseph Ambrose.
I, Christopher Joseph Ambrose of Lorton, Virginia, proudly cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of the state of California.
As the elector from Virginia Beach, Virginia, I proudly cast my vote, Susan B. Hippen, for Kamala D. Harris of the state of California. Elector from Monterey, Virginia, Susan Reed Swecker.
I, Susan Swecker, from Highland County, Virginia, a proud Virginian and daughter of Appalachia, humbly and proudly cast my vote for Kamala D. Harris of California. I guess it's my turn now again, huh? "13 votes have been cast for the Honorable Kamala D. Harris of the state of California for President of the United States. No other person received a vote." At this time, it is the order of business to vote for the Vice President of the United States for the next ensuing regular term by ballot and roll call vote. Staff, please distribute a vice presidential ballot to each elector, and electors, please complete that ballot. Staff, collect the ballots from the electors and deliver to the secretary. Electors, when your name is called, please respond for whom you wish to cast your vote. Madam Secretary, will you now please poll the electors for their vote? I'll give you mine. Hang this. Yeah, we'll get this down before it's done, right?
Elector from Williamsburg, Virginia, Alan Hamilton Kennedy.
In honor of my daughters Caledonia and Cambria, I, Alan Hamilton Kennedy, proudly cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Enrico County, Virginia, Tae Mallory.
I, Tae Davenport Mallory, cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Chesapeake, Virginia, David Bryan Washington.
Madam Secretary, I, David Bryan Washington, vote for Tim Walz from the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Richmond, Virginia, Elizabeth Vedernikova Kana.
I, Elizabeth Vedernikova Kana, am proud to cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Mineral, Virginia, Gary Davis Schatz.
I, Gary Davis Schatz, cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Lexington, Virginia, Dorothy S. Blackwell.
I, Dorothy S. Blackwell, proudly cast my vote for Tim Walz of the great state of Minnesota.
Elector from Culpeper, Virginia, Joseph Odell Smith III.
I, Joseph Odell Smith III, cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Arlington, Virginia, David Jacob Leichman.
I, David Jacob Leichman, proudly cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Rocky Mount, Virginia, Jarrell Wayne Salibi.
I, Gerald Wayne Salibi, cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Sterling, Virginia, Karan Terry Sains.
I, Karan Terry Sains, cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota.
Elector from Lorton, Virginia, Christopher Joseph Ambrose.
I, Christopher Joseph Ambrose, proudly cast my vote for Tim Walz from the state of Minnesota.
As the elector from Virginia Beach, I, Susan Bates Hippen, proudly cast my vote for Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota. Elector from Monterey, Virginia, Susan Reed Swecker.
I, Susan Reed Swecker of Monterey, Virginia, proudly cast my vote for Tim Walz for Vice President of the United States. 13 votes have been cast for the Honorable Tim Walz of the state of Minnesota for Vice President of the United States. No other person received a vote. And now, if the Department of Election staff would please bring forward signatures for the certificates of votes. So this is just a different field for me. More first. should I say? You ready to do the envelopes now? Not yet. Hmm? We have to sign, okay. Will the Department of Elections staff please bring forward for signatures the envelopes of endorsement? Okay, yeah. And will the Secretary of Electors now please assemble 6 envelopes, each containing a certificate of vote, which we just signed, and a certificate of ascertainment signed by the governor. I guess as the speaker would say, you may be at ease for a minute while we do this. hang of it now, right? Okay. The envelopes of endorsement are to be signed by each elector, certifying that the list of all of the votes of the Commonwealth of Virginia for president and all of the votes given for vice president are contained therein. As directed by law, the envelopes now being presented to the Commissioner of Elections for the Commonwealth of Virginia to be distributed as follows. One, to the, hold on that. We have to get, okay, sorry, I got a little ahead of myself here. Okay. Yeah, I just sort of lost track of where we were. Thank you. Okay, now, as directed by law, the envelopes being presented to the Commissioner of Elections for the Commonwealth of Virginia are to be distributed as follows. One to the Honorable Kamala D. Harris, President of the Senate of the United States. One to the Honorable Mark S. Davis, Chief Judge of the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia. Two to Colleen Joy Shogun, Archivist of the United States. Two to be retained by the Commissioner of Elections. I direct that the seventh certificate be provided to Dennis T. Clark, Librarian of Virginia, for the Library of Virginia to keep in its archives. I now present the Honorable John O'Bannon, State Board of Elections Chair, with the eighth certificate for the State Board of Elections to provide to the Library of Virginia once all executed certificates have been received by the required parties.
Thank you, Madam President.
Will the Department of Elections staff please distribute copies of the minutes to the electors for their review? Will the electors now review the minutes? May I have a motion to accept the minutes as recorded?
I, Karan Terry Sains, move to accept the minutes of the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Elector Sains has made a motion to accept the minutes as prepared. Do I hear a second? Elector Mallory has seconded Elector Sains' motion that we accept the minutes. Those in favor of accepting the minutes for the 2024 Electoral College for the Commonwealth of Virginia, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no objections, the minutes are now approved. Department of Election staff, please distribute the official copy of the minutes for signature by each elector. Yes, another signature. And I'd now like to call on Chair of the State Board of Elections for some closing announcement, Chairman O'Bannon. And as I do that, I'm going to go rogue, Susan, just a little bit, because I want to just thank Chairman O'Bannon and your members, your other board members, and Susan Beals and the commission, and the thousands of poll workers and volunteers that made this election run smooth, free, and fair. And just thank you, because I know this is a lot of work for your volunteer job, but we appreciate you.
She stole my thunder. So thank you, Madam President. Thank you very much. On behalf of the Commonwealth of Virginia State Board of Elections, I would like to thank each elector for coming today. I would again like to thank Governor Youngkin, Lieutenant Governor Sears, Chief Justice Goodwin, Commissioner Beals, Mr. Clark, and just as the President said, we have had safe and fair elections in Virginia, and I think we can all be proud of that. And that's all I have to say. I'll turn it back to the President.
And before we adjourn, we're almost done, I do need to mention that the 119th United States Congress will meet in joint session on January 6, 2025, to count the electoral votes for President and Vice President of the United States. And then on January 20th, the President-elect will be inaugurated at noon in Washington, D.C. Is there any other business? Seeing no further business, I now call this meeting of the 2024 College of Electors for the Commonwealth of Virginia adjourned. Got to bang my gavel.